You need to chill the hell out. If you sat around being like, I'm up like 30, 40% in Solana or Render or Casper, then good for you, I'm happy for you. But if we want to make the most of the opportunity of the wall of money that's going to flow into the crypto space in the next few months, we need to position ourselves in the exact right place. And I've seen a trend that is unfolding right this second that we need to capture and study before it's too late. So guys, hit that like button and let's get into today's video. Now, as we see, Bitcoin obviously rallying towards the upside. We're happy about that. And if you've been subscribed to my channel over this summer and earlier on this year, then you will have also been accumulating Solana, probably, Render, Veracity, and all the other good coins that are sat in a good position right now. Even if you haven't seen the pumps yet, in some like H-bar or whatever you're waiting to see the pumps in, I urge you to remain patient and calm because those moves are coming. I've already showed you yesterday where we are right now on Bitcoin, and if we're about to shove into a market move like this, then things could get very, very exciting. And what's more exciting about it is after we see that first initial push in the first few weeks for Bitcoin, we will likely see an explosive move in the altcoins. And here you can see from this descending wedge, we saw this massive rally impulse wave 2. Are we about to arrive into an impulse wave 2? I hear you cry. And the reason we need to pay attention right now is because suddenly, all of a sudden, coins that you probably have never heard of will suddenly start to spring to life. And last time we saw Mana Decentraland arriving in the space of a few weeks and doing nearly a 250x. And then from there, having a massive surge towards the upside. Now, Mana Decentraland, Gala Games, Sandbox, and others emerged onto the scene as the rise of the metaverse and GameFi came into people's minds. However, no one knew what these particular terms meant back in 2021. And I've been paying close attention to DeFi Llama, free website, where you can come down and you can look at raises and then click on overview. And I've noticed a sudden pickup in the amount of money being invested by venture capital into pre-ICO projects right now. Now, why is it important to keep your finger on this pulse? Well, guys, because the big venture capital funds, some of which are worth in the billions of dollars, are very aware of where the next trends are going to be, even if you're not, because you're sat at home smoking a cigar and sipping your brandy because you made 8% on Solana this morning. So basically what happens is this. When the market starts to wake up and you see a sudden inflow of money, like we've seen in the last week or so in Bitcoin and crypto in general, we're talking in the hundreds of billions of dollars, you will start to see big venture capital suddenly unleashing their funds into different new projects. That's because they hold a lot of crypto in like Bitcoin and Ethereum, etc. So suddenly when they see a pump, they suddenly have a spare million or 10 million or $20 million worth of cash that they can then invest into projects. And if you come over to this website, which is called cryptofundraising.info, we can see all of these different projects that have been receiving funding in October. Now, some of them like 1.2, 33 million, 3 million, etc. And I'm not massively excited about some of these projects right now, although it is worth paying attention to them because these are not going to see big pumpage until kind of later on in their season. But what I want to pay attention to is the categories here, because in these categories, I will start to see what the trends that are going to be anticipated to see good growth in the next market could be. And as you look into them, some of them will pop up more often than not. Metaverse being a key one to pay attention to. Other ones we can see that come up more regularly, ZK Sync ecosystems. Some more that are worth paying attention to as well. AI, as you would imagine, would be probably a very key area to be looking at. And as well as that, Solana ecosystem and Polygon ecosystem. Now, why might we be very excited about Solana ecosystem products? Well, guys, Solana, as we can see right now, is having a very exciting early start to the market. And there's a big reason behind that. There's been a huge amount of development that's been going on behind the scenes. They've done a huge amount of firefighting throughout their period of time in the last sort of bear market where they nearly went under multiple times to then come back from strength to strength. And this is exciting because Solana ecosystem products will function and perform extremely well if Solana has a great bull run. Now, before I tell you what I'm going to do with the kind of information that we've now got in terms of what we're looking at in terms of ecosystems, is that I'm just going to show you a new project that's probably worth taking a look at. It's just raised $22 million. Now, I'm not saying that you can invest in these right now, but 6 months or a year down the line, they're going to be getting into their pre-sale phases, and that's when they might be worth paying attention to. Now, what we can go and do to understand a little bit more about some of these project categories, how they all work, is we can go and look at the website. What we can effectively then do is we can look through this website and understand what's going on here. Lots of bits and pieces. This is all to do with trading, cumulative trading volume, $21 billion. That's very interesting. This project hasn't even launched yet, and then there's a lot of things going on with this one, so maybe it's something I want to pay attention to. Now, while I've got this website, I'll just show you an example of what we can do. We can go to the version 2 white paper, which looks like this. I can download it. I can go to Claude.ai. I can then say, analyze this white paper, give me pros and cons from the point of view of an investor. Also, how does the narrative fit with the current market? Drag and drop it in, press play, and then we sit back and we watch as the world gets easier and easier for us to do some crazy things such as this. I like it. Okay, very cool. Claude.ai is free for the first few questions or queries or whatever. Then I think you do have to pay for it, but I don't know, you can go look at that, decide whether it's something you want or not. Pros and cons. Okay, it's going to give us information on what are the good things and the bad things about this project. So now I've just taken a huge amount of work, which would be reading through a massive white paper, and I've given it here to pay attention to. And then I've got into this, right? It's going to tell me the good things about it, and it's going to show me the bad things. Bad things might be execution risk. Can it deliver on its roadmap? Things like that. Stuff to do with liquidity, stuff to do with tokenomics. If there was tokenomics in here, I would have a little bit of a question. I might start to feel a bit fearful, okay? But it's starting to talk lots about liquid assets. I know that liquid staking derivatives and stuff like that is going to be huge in the next bull market. What else can I do? I can come across to Twitter, check their Twitter, 156,000 followers. This is a cool project. It's got a lot of stuff going for it. It could do well if it's launching into a bull market. So pay attention to projects like that. There's a very easy way to go and analyze new projects that you've probably never even heard of before that have just raised $30-odd million. This ain't no dog shit, okay? Go and find projects like this. Now, if you're subscribed to my channel, which only 52.6% of people are, then I implore you to subscribe to my channel, guys. If you're part of that 47.4%, then you need to be subscribed, because you're going to see stuff on my channel that no one else is talking about. We deal with market psychology. We run tutorials and find things that no one else will offer you that gives you the edge. And when we're moving up in certain coins, I'm going to be there and brutal with you, telling you to get out of projects at the right point, rather than just hyping you and telling you that it's going to go to the moon in order to secure your viewership. So do me a favor. I want to see that 47.4% go down, because I'm tired of it. Anyway, back to exploding topics. Now we know some interesting areas that we can go and pay attention to. I got a bit distracted with that last crypto project, but you can go and take a look at it, okay? But hopefully it's useful anyway. Now, what we can see is that there are certain genres or certain narratives within cryptocurrency, such as DeFi, whatever, that we can be excited about. Okay. How else can we find exploding topics? Well, we can come into explodingtopics.com. Now, this does have a paid option. This is not a paid option. See, I'm not going for the pro one. So no, it's not sponsored. And if you go for the premium one, you'll get far more information. But we're just going to go past 2 years. We're going to click finance. And then you can come down below and we can see Bardeen AI, AI personal assistants, Lightning AI, AI investing, AI finance, AI engineering. So what trends do you think might be worth paying attention to during this bull market? I wonder. AI? Yeah? Okay. We'll look at some AI projects in a minute. Remain calm. What else? Well, we can come through and we can look at different bits and pieces around here. Now, as you can see, I'm pretty limited because I'm not paid, because I'm a cheapskate and I'm not going to pay for the pro. But if you want to pay for the pro, then be my guest and tell me how it goes. And then you come into like gaming, which we know like GameFi within crypto is a big thing. And then we got what? AI game generator, AI music. It's all still AI stuff. Okay, so obviously AI is a very big trend that we need to be paying attention to, okay? Deepfake AI, long shot AI. And not every AI project will be a success. But in the last bull market, stuff to do with like gaming and GameFi, projects that were in that space did tend to do pretty well, okay? It was pretty much lower risk to have good kind of exposure to gaming and GameFi. I do think that GameFi still will be a massive narrative to follow, and it's definitely worth looking into projects such as Games for a Living, Veracity, which does have some sort of esports exposure, Render Network, and other kind of like supporting projects that kind of aren't necessarily games and things, but do support a GameFi industry. We can then come across to CoinGecko.com, Control Find Artificial Intelligence down here in number 31. And there we go. In fact, Render we just talked about at the top of the list. You then got Fetch AI, Singularity, Ajax, etc., Ocean Protocol. I, to be honest, hold Render token, Singularity, Ocean Protocol, and some Numerare. Also hold a bit of that, okay? And you'll see that in the last 24 hours, they haven't really been doing anything that exciting, okay? So now we've found a few, and we can go through and start to see what's going on with these particular tokens and find out whether or not there's something we might want to be interested in. Now, the beauty of this is given the time in the crypto market, looking into the path to altcoin season, we have our pumps typically from Bitcoin, from then like the likes of Ethereum, the likes of Solana, which we're seeing right now, maybe some other larger market cap coins. You'll start to see probably likes of XRP, XLM having a push at some point, Cardano's, etc. Earlier on, then you're going to see a lot of these other coins running up towards the upside. They have had some of them in the last 7 days, a pretty good, decent move, but that's like recovery back from a previous point. This is very evident to me that AI is definitely an area of the market to be paying attention to. And the reason I'm telling you right now isn't to just go and buy all of these coins right this second, okay? Because I know lots of people just want me to tell them exactly what to buy when. Stop it. Don't be lazy. Told you how to be lazy using your own tools. But I've told you this so that you can get ahead of the game. You can understand that, you know, if you don't know what these coins are doing, then you can go and like read about them, understand what they do, and then maybe you can start to get a little bit of allocation so that when you're seeing your 2x's, 3x's from Solana, you can start to take a little bit of that profit off the top and then start to push it towards the next narrative that hasn't yet pumped so aggressively. That's why I don't care, right? I keep going like, you're not going to see like a 50x in Ethereum. It doesn't matter, right? We're in this game right now to be building our bag, to be then getting into the next stage. Because the next stage after this stage, which I'm talking about right now, is going and finding the degen tiny caps. But we can do that down the line once we've already made some good cash. Very easy, right? Now go and look at these different tokens. Now you're like, well, what am I looking for? Okay, let me tell you, or in fact, let me use an AI to tell you. If I'm looking to invest in a new crypto, what are 5 things I should consider before adding them to my watch list? Enter. And then it's going to give me some pretty obvious answers. And you're like, well, why would I trust this in an AI? Well, you probably trust it in an AI over the people who are shouting out their comments on like YouTube channels and Twitter and whatever else about coins they're buying, coins they're selling. Because while they might be able to give you good ideas, a lot of people are trapped in confirmation bias and they're all trapped in their own little mind games about what's good and what's bad. AI doesn't have those emotions. It allows you to coolly and calmly realize what it does. And number one, very most key thing it does is the problem it solves. If a cryptocurrency sounds really good because it does all these different bits and pieces and whatever, but it doesn't really solve a problem that needs to be solved by crypto, then stop looking at it. Forget about it. I don't care, okay? Doesn't need it, okay? The world doesn't need it. The world doesn't need it. You don't need it. Next one, team. Who are the founders in the team? If you can't see who the founders and team are, don't invest. Simple rule, okay? Just stay away from it. It might sound amazing, but you don't need to be involved in rug pulls. If you can see who the team are, do they have a good track record? Have they worked on good projects, exciting projects before? Nice. Tick, 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 tick. Next, technology. Review the technical white paper. Obviously, you might not be that technical like me. So what do? We ask the AI, we drag and drop the white paper in there, ask it whether it's good, whether it's bad, what are the pros and cons, any downfalls. And once you understand the pros and cons, you can get the AI to explain to you. Now, if it's still too technical after you've done that, you can be like, hey, can you explain this white paper to me as if I'm 15 years old? If you're 15 and you're not that technical, maybe you want to ask it to explain it to you as if you're 12 years old. You get the picture, yeah? It's going to make it to a point at which you can understand. So in terms of the tech, is the tech already working? Has it been proven to work? Or is it just theoretical at the moment? Because lots of crypto projects sound amazing, but they are just theoretical. Jasmine being one. But you need to have it being able to prove that it's going to be able to do what it says it's going to do. Because if it doesn't, then it's going to flop. Roadmap. What are they doing in the next few months, few years that has us excited about? Are they going to be launched on big exchanges? That could add to the price valuation, so that if I'm invested now, then we got lots of good things coming out. Are they going to be launching a token? What's going to be coming on in the future? The community. Does it have a load of people in the Discord or Telegram who are passionate and excited about spreading the word about this coin or that coin? That's good. And then you can also think about tokenomics, partnerships, competitors, and liquidity. Always important. Competitors might be a big one, but you can see loads of layer ones do really well, and they're all competing for the same prize at the end of the day. Now, a project that I myself have been investing in recently is this particular project called D.Fi. While I think AI is a very big and interesting sector, I also think there is room to grow for Web3 and onboarding the masses into crypto. And I'm particularly excited about this project because the venture capital behind this project also invested in SpaceX and Tesla during the early days, and we know what happened to them. It's already been used and endorsed by the University College London as well as other big universities around the world, and the product has already been used and talked about by CZ of Binance, Cointelegraph, Andrew Kang, etc. So effectively, what is D.Fi? Well, it's a Web3 super app that has the ability for you to be able to do anything from scanning a smart contract to see whether or not it's a rug pull, whether it's safe or not, to being able to use AI, like we just talked about, but fully integrated into the same app to be able to understand crypto in better depth. It allows you to interact with other people in crypto around the world to understand more about different projects and all the different exciting things coming up. You can do things like exploring different yields within yield farms and so much more. This is a project that's already been up and running for the last 3 years, and the user interface as well as all the tools are already working to a high degree of accuracy. The team is highly transparent. You can go and see loads of information about them. But what I'm most excited about, and this is a good example of a good roadmap, is what is due to come out in the next few years. They're already here. They've already come up this really tough and difficult slope, and yet they have still so much more to come in the next few years. Now, if you use my link down below, it will bring you across to this page where you can go and learn all the information about this project and watch this good video here from the founder of this particular platform. And if you are so interested, after doing your research, you can invest because they are just about to launch D.Fi 2.0, which is going to be the next level where they're going to be using this utility token in order to drive the whole ecosystem. And if you go into the roadmap, you'll understand a bit more about what those tokens could be used for. Now, every few days, the price does increase. So if you want to secure the best price, then obviously the earlier you get involved, the better. But this is not financial advice. You must go and do your own research if you are interested in this particular project. Now, there's two options here to choose from. The vesting plan with a 4 months daily linear vesting. What that means is effectively if I invest $1,000 today, then when the token gets launched, I will receive my tokens on the launch date, not directly straight away, but on the launch date, and then I will receive them drip fed back to me. This is really important because it means that big venture capital can't dump their tokens back on the market, and it means for a more sustained and healthy growth from the token generation event. However, if you go for this one where the tokens will be about 10% more expensive, you'll get 30% of your tokens straight away when the token generation event happens, and then your 70% will be released to you. Personally, I got in on this one because I see a brighter future for this project. Guys, if you enjoyed today's video, do me a favor, hit that like button. If you're new to the channel and you haven't, subscribe. See you in the next one. Bye-bye.